Jeopardy! Host Ken Jennings has shocked his fans by posting a hilarious NSFW joke on his Twitter. He wished everyone happy holidays, but in a way no one expected. On Tuesday, Ken shared a photo to Twitter. He simply captioned it with a confused face emoji. It read, "Planters, to all a good nut. Celebrate the good at every gathering." The photo was an ad for Planters Peanuts, and was a play on words to the line "and to all a good night" from the story, "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." It is not clear why he shared it, since his caption wasn't very descriptive, but he could have just found it funny. Jeopardy! Fans took to the comments to react to the tweet. One commented a gif of George Takei saying "oh my." Kenneth Wayne Jennings, another scolded. A third wrote, "That can't be real." The host left many other fans shocked by his random post. Never living it down. Just a few days ago, Ken revealed the shady gift that Jeopardy! Gave him while he was a contestant, celebrating his NSFW moment. The staff still won't let him live down his NSFW moment from 2004 when he was a contestant under Alex Trebek. The 48-year-old wrote on Twitter, "They printed me a souvenir at Jeopardy! Yesterday. 18 years later and there's still no note about accepting any alternate answers," he added. The photo showed a Jeopardy! Clue sheet, the printed answers hosts are given before each episode and which are rarely seen publicly. The cue read, "This term for a long-handled gardening tool can also mean an immoral pleasure seeker." The answer was, "What is a rake?" Fans loved this throwback and look at the inside workings of the show as one replied, "Don't worry, we all know you were correct." Another wrote, "Kinda love that the text of the clue is printed in the typeface used on the show." Ken replied on the famed font in question, "Corinna bold hive rise up." A third wrote, "My favorite moment between you and Alex." A fourth asked, "Were you at all embarrassed after you said it and heard the correct response?" To which a fifth claimed, "Oh, he knew it was wrong all along, but he hit ahead by $1 bajillion and decided it was worth the $400 just to say that word on national television." The air date was circled in a pen and it did not have an alternate answer for the clue, though Ken certainly gave one at the time. What is a hoe? Well, into his 74-game run resulting in $2.5 million in 2004, still the longest streak ever, the then 30-year-old software engineer buzzed in on the category Tool Time. Instead of answering with rake, Ken said, "What is a hoe?" He responded with a giant smirk on his face, as gasps and uproarious laughter from the audience ensued. Host Alex replied in shock, "Whoa. Whoa. Whoa. They teach you that in school in Utah?" Ken had just graduated from Brigham Young University. Ken joked he was surprised, all these years later, that rake was still the only answer acceptable in his new tweet. While hoe technically did apply as a gardening tool, the response was so shocking that the clip on YouTube has scored 1.2 M+ views and it's become known as one of Jeopardy's most famous moments. In a moment that at Jeopardy! Fans dropping their remote controls in stunned laughter, longtime host Ken Jennings delivered a side-splitting, off-the-cuff NSFW joke that no one, not even the show's producers, saw coming. It all started during a relatively calm Tuesday evening broadcast of Jeopardy's Tournament of Champions. The game was intense. The contestants were razor-sharp. And the stakes were high. But nothing could have prepared the audience for what Ken had up his sleeve. Setting the scene. The category was double meanings, and the clue read. This 5-letter word can refer to a cat or something that might require a parental advisory sticker on television. One contestant, a straight-faced law professor from Ohio named Peter, confidently buzzed in and replied, "What is pussy?" A beat of silence followed. Ken Jennings blinked, then tilted his head slightly with that trademark smirk slowly creeping across his face. "Well," he began, the live audience collectively holding their breath, "you are, technically correct. But I think we'll need to get the FCC to weigh in on this one." The audience erupted in laughter. Even Peter cracked a smile, realizing the double entendre he'd just walked into. But Ken wasn't done yet. He straightened his tie dramatically, looked into the camera, and added, "And for the record, folks, that word has more lives than our legal team is comfortable with." Shockwaves across social media. Within seconds of the moment airing, Twitter, or X, as it's now rebranded, exploded with reactions. Clips of the exchange were reposted thousands of times within minutes. The hashtag Ken said what started trending, followed closely by hashtag Jeopardy after dark. One user posted, "Ken Jennings just made a P-word joke on Jeopardy. I am deceased, smiley face emoji, hashtag icon." Another added, We need a late-night version of this show hosted by that version of Ken. Immediately. Even former host Alex Trebek's name began trending, with fans speculating how he might have handled the moment. Some said Trebek would have delivered it with his own sly elegance, while others argued Ken's cheeky spontaneity was the exact modern twist the show needed. The fallout, or lack thereof. Backstage sources later confirmed that the producers had a brief panic moment. "We were all looking at each other like, do we bleep this in the reruns?" said one crew member. But the FCC guidelines are a little grayer when it comes to words with double meanings. In fact, the network received very few formal complaints, and far more praise. Ratings spiked the next night, and viewership among the elusive 18 to 34 demographic saw a notable bump. A Jeopardy! Spokesperson released a tongue-in-cheek statement the next morning. "We encourage lively intellectual discourse, and, occasionally, a cheeky double entendre. Ken Jennings remains in good standing as our host, though we're now watching his mic feed very closely." Ken's own reaction. Never one to shy away from self-deprecation, Ken took to threads to address the viral moment. To everyone asking, "Yes, I knew what I was doing. No, the producers didn't tackle me after the taping. And yes, the cat is out of the bag, cat emoji, television emoji." He followed it up with a mock apology. "I'd like to issue a formal, heartfelt apology to all the grandmas across America who had to explain that joke to their grandchildren. And to all the grandchildren who had to explain it to their grandmas." Fans ate it up. One follower replied, "Ken Jennings is officially the dad joke king of prime time," while another wrote, "This man is single-handedly saving television." A pattern of wit. Of course, this wasn't the first time Ken's humor raised eyebrows. Back in his contestant days, he once responded to a Final Jeopardy clue with the answer, "What is a hoe?" A tongue-in-cheek response that had Alex Trebek chuckling as he clarified, "We were looking for plow, but yours is more colorful." More recently, Jennings jokingly described a contestant's intense buzzer reflexes as faster than a teenager closing their browser when a parent walks in. That comment made headlines, too. What makes Ken unique is that he brings a razor-sharp intellect to the table, but never forgets the value of a good, well-timed zinger. And perhaps that's what viewers love most, the balance between cerebral trivia and lighthearted unpredictability. Calls for a late-night edition. In the wake of this latest incident, fans are clamoring for a new version of the show. Some have proposed a Jeopardy! After Dark format, featuring riskier categories, bolder jokes, and maybe even celebrity contestants unafraid to go off-script. One Change.org petition, titled "Let Ken Be Ken," had over 15,000 signatures within 48 hours. Its description reads, "We love smart Ken. We love funny Ken. But we adore unfiltered Ken. Give us the after-hours version. You owe it to America." Sony Pictures Television has not commented publicly on the petition, but insiders say conversations are ongoing. Jeopardy! Evolves. At its core, Jeopardy! Has always been about evolution. From black-and-white broadcasts to Trebek's legendary era, and now into the digital age with Jennings at the helm, the show has proven time and again that it can adapt while remaining iconic. With more and more shows opting for edgier hosts and formats to keep up with younger audiences, Ken Jennings' recent moment may not be a slip, but a step toward the future. The final word. One fan perhaps put it best on Reddit. "Jeopardy! Used to be what I watched with my dad before bed. Now I watch it with my wife, and we laugh just as hard. Jennings has done the impossible, he's made trivia sexy." So, did Ken Jennings cross a line? Maybe. Was it hilarious? Undoubtedly. Will we all be watching more closely from now on? Absolutely. And as Ken himself quipped after returning from a commercial break that fateful night, "Don't worry, folks, I've been officially told to keep it PG-13. Unless the next clue begs otherwise." Final Jeopardy, indeed.